This is over. There are only 3 questions in this passage. Now I'm going to give you some gyan. Reading comprehension passages are dealt by keeping two things in mind. The first thing is that you should be fairly able to read the passage in order to comprehend it. The other thing is, while reading, you should be able to pick out at least to two or three questions. You should be able to, if you're a good student, you should be able to one or two questions on the go. I mean, correctly. One or two questions, two in a worst case scenario, you will have to leave. Worst case scenario mein, you are leaving two questions. This is one of those questions which you can leave, because two also makes sense. Condition 2, the author dying before he gets old. So in an exam setup, I leave it because. Or hello guys, welcome to this video. Today we are doing a reading comprehension passage from a previous year mock. Before delving into this RC passage, I would like to inform you guys that we have started with our CAT one-on-one sessions. Classes are going on as we speak right now. If you're interested in having one-on-one personalized classes, sessions, you can get in touch with me with the links that are in the description, or you can make use of the labels that you see in this video itself. If you are somebody who's looking to score higher percentiles, this course is for you. Now let's focus on this passage. Understand what it is all about. I am going to read it at my own pace. If you feel like you want to pause and you want to read it, pause the video, take a screenshot, read the passage, and then come back. You can increase the playback speed as well, according to your convenience. Worrying news for people in developed countries who will be born in 2030. A new study suggests that their life expectancy will exceed 90. Only last year, World Health Organization told us that globally, babies born in 2015 could expect to live to 71.4 years. That's quite a jump we see here. So basically, I think the author is trying to say in the first para is that how WHO is predicting that 2015 babies will live 270-ish years, and how that is a problem. Okay, that's a worrying news for the people in 2030. Now, this is the stem of the passage. This is where the entire idea of the passage will revolve around. So I'll again, the worrying news that life expectancy is going to increase to 70 years for the people who are born in 2015. These are the things that you can write in your rough page also. Let's read the second paragraph. I dread to think what next year's estimate will be, because life in your 90s is not always much fun. My mother lived to 98. It was difficult and frustrating for her from 90 to 95, losing her independence, and hellish after her stroke in her mid 90s, by which time she was longing to die, often begging me and the hospital consultants to finish her off. We can't help you with that, I'm afraid, said one consultant, and I had to look the other way and have a little cry. So this is the problem what people will be facing beyond 90, because the author is saying at mid 90s his mother has gotten a stroke, right? You get the idea. So it's quite self-explanatory, very readable passage, no jargons, nothing. Let's read ahead. But my mother's despair was understandable, because as WHO pointed out last year, that healthy life expectancy falls a good deal short of life expectancy. What does that mean? The WHO has pointed out that the healthy life expectancy is falling short of the life expectancy, and that's the big problem. Okay, that healthy life. It would be lovely to live into your 90s. Lovely to live into your 90s. If you're fit and healthy, could live free of discomfort and carry doing the things you love, dancing, cooking, chatting, getting about. But you usually can't. Now that is the problem, that till 90, if you are fit and healthy, you would love to do dancing and all that thing, but generally it's not the case. Para 4. Life is not much fun if, like my mother and her peers, you can barely move or talk, everything hurts, you're terrified of incontinence and dementia. So you are terrified of incontinence and dementia. I don't know what incontinence is. That's a new word for me. Dementia is basically forgetting things, right? In the general. All right. Now, you feel like a useless burden, and most of your friends are dead, or if they are still around, you can't get to see them. Who's going to take you to meet your remaining old chums and look after you? I would laugh if it wasn't so serious. So basically, this is a grim situation, but he's trying to make some sense of it. In the UK, our health and social care setups are going down the pan already. What state they're going to be after the 2030? So the healthcare system is also, the author has taken a jibe at the healthcare system. I imagine 70s and 80-year-old children tottering around caring for their ancient parents. Basically, if the life expectancy of the people rose to 90, so the children will also be at the age of 70 and 80. So the 80-year-old children will be taking care of their ancient parents, unless they are still working, because who can afford to be retired for 20-30 years? That's a very interesting take. I'm frightened of death, but becoming almost more frightened of living to a very old age in this country. But perhaps I won't have to. There are always caveats to these reports. Climate change, natural disaster, news, uncontrollable disease, or gigantic war may wipe out millions of us. So basically, he's afraid of dying, but he's also saying that there are other possibilities that can kill me before I go to an old age. I don't like to sound dismal, but I no longer know which one is the worst option. So we know what we are talking about. This is a readable passage, a very good passage. But here is the take. Every time I encounter a passage which is readable, fairly readable, understandable, the general problem that I face with these kind of passages is that it becomes difficult now with the questions. Okay. Sorry, it was just hurting my head a little bit. So now let's just go to the questions directly without wasting time. The first question says, the author feels that life expectancy exceeding 90 years is worrying news for people in developed country who will be born in the 30s. Because now see, I have a different teachers will have different methods of solving questions. My method is elimination. I don't really care about how the options are designed. I read all the questions in exam setup before I go to the passage. The questions, not the options, because options are the ones that create anchor biases in your mind. But questions are good. So let's try to eliminate. The first option is saying the question is basically about exceeding 90 years is a worrying news for people in the developing countries who will be born in 2030 because of the lack of the social care system in the developed world. Are they saying that there is any lack of social care system in the developed world? In the last fourth para or fifth para, they are talking about if people are retired, not retired till their 70s, 80s, 90s, it can be a problem. But lack of social care is definitely not. So I can eliminate it right away. Let's look at the other option. A non-agenarian can most probably not lead a healthy life. That is true. Let's keep it for the time being. What about after reaching 90 years, the person becomes a useless person. The person becomes a useless person. Okay, that is a statement. Now, I know that this is a wrong option, so I'm going to eliminate this. And I'll tell you how. The statement says the person becomes useless person. I think in the passage, I'll get you to the passage, the mother of that author is saying that the mother has become useless. So it's not that the author is saying that the old guy has become useless. Mother is saying that I have become useless. So by that logic, this option is out. A person above 90 years of age will not be taken care of. Again, this is not something that we're talking about. We're talking about who will take care of that above 90-year-old. If there is the person who's taking care of a 90-year-old, above 90-year-old, will they have a job and stuff like that? But it's not like they won't be taken care of. So by all that logic, by elimination itself, we know that B is my correct answer. Let's go back and check the passage once, para, exactly where it was written. I think it was in, yeah. So this is the passage, you can read it. So this is, I'll do that. Okay. You are terrified, like my mother and her peers who can barely talk, yada yada yada, and incontinence, dementia. You feel like a useless burden, and most of your friends are dead. You feel so that basically means that mother is feeling useless burden, right? It's not that the author is saying that the person at 90 has become a useless chap. Fifth question, the next question rather, as can be inferred from the fifth para of the passage, which of the following problems will a person whose age is over 90 years most probably face? Now for this we'll have to go to fifth para. Okay. And that is why the demarcations will help us over here. So let's just see these two paras. Person over 90 will feel. Okay, the question was that which of the following options, which of the following problem will a person whose age is 90 most probably face? Okay, so life is not much fun for the mom because she's having a stroke, and then in the UK, this is what I wanted to read. That's why I came back. In the UK, health and social care setup are going down the pan. 70 and 80-year-old children tottering around caring their ancient parents unless they're still working, because who can afford to be retired for 25 to 30 years? Who can afford to be retired? Yeah, I mean, if they're retired, then their kids will have to take care of them. So yeah, this seems like I think I have gotten the answer. Let's see the options. First option says the children of such person will be retired and will not be able to take care of their parents. Is it what like they're saying, that the person will be retired? Children of such persons will be retired and will not be able to take care of their parents? Definitely not. This retirement problem is for the people, not the children. The children of the person over 90 years of age will be unwilling to take care of their parents. Unwilling. Where in the passage are we talking about unwilling? The person who are over 90 years of age will have to depend on their children as they get older. This is something which is true. I'll keep it. Let's read the next one. The person who are over 90 years of age will have children who are themselves very old. See, this is also true. The person who are over 90 years of age will have children who are themselves very old. First thing, they're not very old. 70, 80, theek hai. Not as old as their ancient parents. That is the word that they have used in the passage. But most importantly, the question is that which of the following will a person whose age is 90 will face? So depending upon children and the healthcare system, if they are not on payroll, then children have to take care of the parents. That is what the line says. So with that logic, I will go with this. And D will over 90 years of age will have children who are themselves very old. It doesn't really fit the bill. I think it doesn't give you a straight up answer to the question also. Let's go to the next question. So C is my answer. Last one, which of the following option does the author consider when he states that I no longer know which one is the worst option? Now, since I'm rereading this, I know this is in the last para. You can go back, and this is where you should go back into the para and try to make sense of it. So in the last line, he says, I don't like to sound dismal, but I no longer know which one is the worst option. It's basically comparing living up to 90 years and then dying early, which is worse. So I am frightened of death. This is what he starts off with the para. And then he says that I am frightened of death, but becoming almost more frightened of living to a very old age in this country. But perhaps I won't have to. When he says this line, but perhaps I won't have to, that means the next line is going to give you the evidence, and that is these reasons, right? Climate change, natural disaster, uncontrolled disease, gigantic war, this, that. So I hope you have the answer with you now, the shadow answer. Let's look at the options. Living to a very old age in the UK is definitely one of the option choices that I will pick. So which of the following option does the author, so there are 1 and 2, 2 and 3. Okay, I'll have to eliminate then. Moving to a developing country in the UK. Moving to a developing country in the UK, I don't think that is the out. Okay, author dying before he gets old. This is something that he is afraid of. Yes. Then reduction in life expectancy due to global catastrophe. Now see, I'll tell you very honestly, this is a difficult question. You can either choose 1 and 2 and 1 and 3. These two options, 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 are out. So 1, I need to be very careful that which one should I be eliminating. 2, the author dying before he gets old, is a problem. Which of the following option does the author consider when he states I no longer know which one is the worst option? Reduction in life expectancy due to global catastrophe is the reason why he is afraid. And then living to a very old age. Living to a very old age is definitely one of the problems. So 1 has to be there. The author dying before he gets old. I am not sure, because I have a bias that I would go with 3. However, in these kind of situations, just do one thing, leave. Okay, leave the question. This is a difficult question type, and please understand, this is over.